It's wintertime. The leaves have fallen, snow is covering the ground, maybe, and the only green left on the horizon is the mighty conifer. When building trees for mocks, I often find myself building a pine tree. Now there are builders who have absolutely crazy designs for them. Pine trees are a great way to get your foot in the door of crazy and complex trees. This time of year we often find ourselves chopping down the old conifer for Yule traditions. So I figured I'd show off some detailed yet very simple pine trees. When it comes to building any of these pine trees, the Travis brick is going to be the core. And for most of these trees, you'll be stacking Travis bricks at a 45-degree angle from the previous one. And you can make these as tall or short as you want, though I probably wouldn't go shorter than 4 or 5. In this video, I won't be focusing too much on the trunk. You can go as simple or as complicated as you like. Most of these you can easily find a workaround to put on any type of trunk you want to. One of my favorite pieces to use for the trunks is this old palm tree stem. It's actually upside down, and using a bar you can easily connect it to the tree and ground. The first tree is the most simple, and you've probably seen it before. I like to call it the grass tree, but I don't know what else anyone would call it. You're going to want to start with your trunk and your Travis brick assembly. We'll be layering stacked grass pieces to create a cone shape. I've seen people use like a straight diagonal to stack the grass pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. But I don't think that has like the most natural look. I think you should follow more of like an exponential line, like 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. And if you have multiple, don't do them the exact same way. And the next time you're out and about, take a look at the trees around you. I recently saw one that was kind of shaped more like this. Once you figure out the slope you want to follow, build it all the way around the tree. When it comes to the top of the tree, I tend to do it a bit different than others. A lot of people will just stick a grass piece right on top, and some will set another onto that one. And this looks fine, but it could definitely look better. The way that I like to do it is you take 1 or 2 grass pieces, a cylinder, and a bar, and just stick it right in the top. It creates a really nice peak to your pine tree. This green isn't the most ideal for some builds. It's a little bright, it's a little unnatural. Fortunately, this piece exists in olive green. Unfortunately, they are not cheap. There's also these lavender ones, and I think I might try to collect enough to make a tree out of it. I think that'd be fun. The classic grass piece was actually retired in 2017 and replaced with this newer one in 2018, and using the exact same principles, you can easily build a tree out of it. I don't think the newer one looks as good as the old one, but it doesn't fall apart when you look at it wrong. These trees have been around forever and are really simple to make, and I often find the newer grass piece on the pick-a-brick wall. This next tree is one of my favorites. I've been working with and perfecting it for the last few years. These sand green clips make for the perfect needles. Aside from the trunk and Travis brick core, these 5 pieces are all you're gonna need. And you'll actually use these to make a few sub-assemblies. And don't copy this exactly, have some fun with it, make some variations. For these sub-assemblies where it's just like a plate under the clip, I used to, and I see a lot of people using a round 1x1 plate. I prefer the sand green 1x1 plate. It keeps it a little more simple looking, it doesn't add an unnecessary color, and I think it fits the overall look better. Once you get to the layers where you'd have 3 plates under the clip, you're gonna wanna create one of these sub-assemblies with a snot brick. Make variations, experiment with texture, do what you can to make it look natural. Once you have your sub-assemblies, we'll place them on the trunk, and remember the exponential slope. Copy that onto the other 3 sides, and voila, you have a perfect little tree. This one specifically is the one that I really love the palm tree trunk for. But again, use whatever you got. Now, I don't think I came up with this design, but I'd never seen something quite like it when I first built one. I took influence from 2 very popular trees at the time. Pardon the terrible picture, but for this, the whole branch is a Travis brick. And this design, which is cheese slope. This cheese slope one is a little smooth for my taste, but if you make it out of white, it's the perfect snow-covered pine. These are ones that you can really have fun with, so go experiment. To double back to the clip tree, I bought a bunch of these clips in dark green, because I really wanted to make this tree in dark green. This very necessary snot brick does not exist yet in dark green. This last tree has got to be my new favorite way to build a pine tree. It's using the fairly brand new fern piece, and it's in one of the greatest Lego colors of all time, dark green. All the trees up to this point have pretty much followed the same formula. Travis brick core, some sort of easy to follow pattern that goes from bigger to smaller. This tree, while not super complicated, completely veers from the mold. But before talking about how you build this tree, these fern pieces aren't going to be the most common in quantity. Sure, you can buy them off Bricklink, but you're going to be way overpaying. My suggestion is to order them directly from LEGO, once they're back in stock, of course. For this exact tree, you'll need 50. To start this tree, you'll actually need to do some stud reversal. Either of these round tiles does the trick. The first Travis brick will actually be upside down, as well as everything that follows. For most of the branches, we're going to be using these plates with bars, or ping pong paddles, and this is what we'll be able to put our fern pieces on. This is basically how we create the first few layers of the tree. The next layer is made using this modified plate. This is where the fun begins, because the branches are made a little more complicated here, and the ferns will slide right onto the bar. Stick a bar in the top, spiral up your ferns, and we top it off with another ping pong paddle and a paddly, and it gives the perfect place for a star. I absolutely love this tree design and cannot wait till I can build a forest out of them. If you had trouble following this and you really want to build it, I've put instructions on Rubricable, and any purchase goes a really long way in helping the channel. And there we have it, some crazy simple yet detailed pine trees. I hope you learned something, or at least took something new from this video. I just want to thank y'all for being here, it really means a lot. We're wrapping up on the year, and this has been my most successful year on YouTube. Learned a lot, I've grown a lot. I've stayed about the same on consistency, which is none. Hopefully for next year we can find some way to stay consistent, because I've got a lot to share. Anyways, this is where I'm gonna end it. Hope y'all have a great rest of the year, and I'll see you next time.